As kids, having favorite things was almost as important as breathing was. I don't know about you guys, but I made sure every one of my friends knew what my favorite animal was, who my favorite superhero was and is, and of course, what my favorite color was. It's orange, by the way. That's what made us different from everybody else. I specifically remember playing Halo Reach with the boys back in elementary school and have always picked up the turret and like detached it off of its mantle whenever it was available because of just how much I loved George from the Noble team. I was really into the big slow tough guys with the big hearts. I would run in front of my friends thinking I could tank the bullets that they'd get killed by, even though I mean we had the exact same amount of shields and the exact same amount of health, so it didn't really work out. But that was me. I was the shield, and that never changed. Even today, I always choose the big and slow characters in a game. I've tied my morals to being a gentle giant. I believe as kids grow older, their interests and favorite things develop into their identity. If something speaks to you, eventually you will develop those same traits, just like I did. It's these years that are so important for our mental development because they're what give us our unique identities. I believe everyone on this planet has an identity and gift unique to them and them alone. It's our own interests and how we perceive the world ourself that allows us to be authentic. But as of recently, this authenticity has become incredibly rare. Almost nobody has this anymore unless they've had this like, what am I doing moment of realization. And social media is why this is happening. Big tech has finally mastered our attention and self-esteem. They've created this social worry about being cringe. I think the whole idea of cringe is just the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And it's this very idea that's been so effective that we only decide to show a slight bit of expression through our identities if it's through a brand or a socially cool genre that has a community surrounding it already. Social media quickly learns what people are interested in and will mass produce media and products that align with the majority of what's in right now. I mean, this is why gatekeeping is so popular now. Because if your favorite song from a low-key artist, like an underground artist, makes it big on TikTok, it's curtains. You have to wrap it up because it immediately turns into slop that will be on people's videos that couldn't care less about the artist. We're actually lucky if the topic is still even about music itself. There's a really, really good example of this. If you look at any single Japanese food video, I promise you will hear only two songs in rotation at all times. And I am guilty of this. I'm in a prep right now for a bodybuilding show, so I've been obsessed with watching food videos. All I can think about is food, especially Japanese food as of recently, and this is the recent realization I had. So this is the perfect example. The Howl's Moving Castle theme is such a precious piece of artwork that's been brutally overused in Japanese slop cooking videos to a point where I get so pissed off whenever I hear it. I don't know. Anyways, that's just a whole different thing. But to my point, these videos get views. A great example of mindless consumption. But back to my point, manufactured identity is not a new thing. Now, just to give you an example, gym brands are perfect at executing this. Like I said, I'm competing in my first bodybuilding show, so I have some ball knowledge in this realm. Gym brands targeted towards young men usually follow the same archetype, like the edgy lone wolf, like guts, Batman type aesthetic. This is a personality worn by millions of dudes now. But I want to make it known, I'm not dogging on this personality itself. If someone grew up to like these aesthetics and traits on a personal level, that's great. But you and I both know a good 95% of these young men don't resonate with these things on a personal level without the consumption of the social media affecting them at some point in that process. These copy-paste identities create a sense of belonging in a world that's been removed of its individuality. Earlier along the path of growing up, the internet skewed our creative growth. We all try to fit into the same lane rather than figure out how to drive on our own. We were given identities to choose from, distracting us from what could have been us, like individually. The little dude who is big into Transformers and cars is now trying to figure out which cafe to visit and post on his story. We stopped watering these seeds that we planted over a decade ago, and it's quite sad. So me personally, I removed myself from social media not too long ago, and I'm already noticing my sense of identity and authenticity returning tenfold. The void that I had in my life that was being taken up by mindless consumption, like everybody else, is now replaced by mindful consumption. So I recently bought a Switch 2, and bro, I'm telling you, I've been so invested in playing Animal Crossing for like the past 2 weeks. It's given me a world where I can design something functional and it's like exactly to my taste. The island wouldn't exist without my creative input. Some other things that I've been doing in replace of like that void of mindless scrolling, I've been really into comics and just regular novels more than ever. Each book calms my nerves and each comic gives me a hero to base my personality off of. That fire inside me that I had when I played Halo Reach, trying to protect my friends, being that big tough guy, but also the protector, is brighter than ever, and that's because of these comics that I'm reading. This one like short run of Superman was so perfect. It's one where he saves a kid. I don't really remember the name exactly of what it's called. I'm sure I'll put it up in the video. He saves this kid, but he doesn't just do that. He makes her feel important and seen again because before this big meteor comes to like hit this children's playground. I know it's Superman. Like, what do you expect? But before a potential catastrophe happens to a bunch of kids, this one girl comes up to Superman saying like, nobody wants to play with me. I feel unseen. And Superman basically just like comforts her and gives her a big hug and smiles at her and all that. It's just, those are the things that I love so much. It's not just protecting people, but keeping them mentally happy. And so seeing that in Superman just reinvigorates that fire within me. So put that phone down, pick up a comic, do things that speak to you, do things that bring back that fire that you had as a kid. But yeah, essentially, to sum it up, the reason why abstinence from social media is so needed is to reinforce that old identity that you're on your way of fully achieving. But not just that, to also be able to effectively communicate your authenticity to others when you get that. You need to be able to like talk the walk essentially, if you know what I mean. Like, that's at least my opinion. And you do that by resetting your nervous system. Now this ties into the first point that I was trying to make. Being authentic should go hand in hand with your ability to communicate yourself. Constantly filling your mind with distractions makes it pretty impossible to have a fully fleshed out thought. Now, I know many of us have problems. That's just part of being human. Pretty sure all of us have problems. But we never give them enough time in our minds to process. Instead, we shy away from the bad feelings they give us and just go on our phone and like scroll until the end of the day when we have to sleep. And those are the times when the thoughts come. So then your sleep gets cooked, you get cooked, you're cooked tomorrow, you just have a bad sleeping pattern, it's all shit. However, by removing those apps from your life, that gives you time to be bored. And when you're bored, the thoughts return. But that's exactly what you want. When the thoughts come back, you have time to acknowledge them by either solving them or just letting them come and go. That's the whole point of a thought. So you're not pushing them all the way till the end of the day when you have no distractions. Unless you, fall asleep to a YouTube video, then you're cooked. So like I said, I've been contradicting these things by reading and playing like slow burn video games. By slow burn, I mean like Skyrim, Animal Crossing, or Stardew. Something that takes a long time to do a task or something like that. Not super stimulating, but very calm. So when you cut out all of these like short-term dopamine hits and like the scrolling, and you give your brain time to think, and the activities that you do, they're like slow burn games, reading a book, or meditation. That's for like, I meditate, but it took me a while to get to that point. But you're going to start to notice that your nervous system starts to realign with itself normally, and you're not going to be on edge all the time. And your ability to have a friendly conversation is so much better. I'm starting to notice now that when I talk to my other bodybuilder friends, when I go train, I'm able to maintain eye contact with them and not just like listen to listen, but listen to understand what they're trying to say, if you know what I mean. Since now that my nervous system is like realigned with itself and it's more calm and I'm not on edge all the time, I have no internal dialogue or urges to remove myself from that situation. I'm fully present and I'm curious about what they're telling me. I also noticed conversations become way more genuine. I don't want to say that they get like deeper, but I want to say that like I talk about their lives and interests rather than like the copy paste, yo bro, like what are you hitting today, that you say every single day to your gym bro. But yeah, having a sound mind makes conversations easier to understand and maintain. This is so important for being an authentic person. And to be that authentic person, to do that, you need to fill your time with things that take time to get dopamine. You need to get bored. You need to like go chop down like a wood forest for 2 hours in like Minecraft to make a huge house with no Spotify. That's like leagues above scrolling. Being interesting is a lost art form, one taken from us by the greedy big tech. I consider right now to be the biggest turning point for me and other like-minded people like you guys, or I mean, whoever's watching this video, to separate ourselves from big tech brainwashing before we enter a dead internet with people consuming more AI than human-made content. Now, I mean, don't even get me started with AI. AI is a whole separate thing. That's maybe a different video that I can work on. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you did watch this, I really appreciate your time. I can't believe you used your time to listen to me talk. This is kind of like my first video making things like this. I want to do this regardless of monetization and whatnot. I just want to make sure I have a healthy outlet to create. I want to make sure I'm doing a lot more creation than consumption. I mean, Animal Crossing and Skyrim and reading is healthy consumption, but I also want to make sure I'm doing creation. So I appreciate you guys for watching. But yes, all love to whoever watched this video. Thank you very much. See you later.